Here's my buying guide on the Cypher. We're going to start from defense first. So the first thing we're going to talk about in defense is trips. So the first trip I'm going to show is just like a very average trip for long. And this is one I place more or less a lot of the rounds. Very nice because they don't detect it until they're going out. So then it's a really nice trip to get a kill with. And you'll notice in ranked, like the best trips are going to be ones you can get kills with. Next, I'm going to talk about this one. So this one you'll see a lot from like people on TikTok things, and the reason why you'll see it, it's not actually quite this far out. It's actually like the reason why you'll see this one is because when people jump out, they usually jump out in around this region. So then I'll go straight into the trip. I think it's fine, but it is very dodgeable. But I think it's just for like fast takes, right? Like this for hookah. It's not really a great place to trip otherwise. Tripping this is going to get shot very easily. And tripping this, it's going to get detected before they even go into it. So most of the time, it's better to do the diagonal ones. But for security, if I just need my sight to like know if they're coming out or not, like if they're probably particularly low and slippery, like they should do in bind, then I'll usually just do this trip. And even though they will destroy it, I will have info that they were in the detection range of this trip most likely. So you know, even if I'm like away from the site, if I'm like close to the site, obviously I'll hear them. The other trip that you'll see a lot actually, mainly done in like competitive, is this one. And the reason why you see this one is because when races go out of hookah, they don't actually blast satchel, like blast pack out straight, because they'll bang their head on this. So what they do is actually go round, and as you can see, like trajectory wise, if they want to go like front sight, they'll actually end up hitting this trip. And even if they go out this side, they'll end up like they have to like hit the wall, right? So to not hit the wall, they come out this way, and they'll go straight into the trip. So either way they choose, they go straight into the trip. This one's definitely the safer one because there's a chance that they can blast pack to the right, but it's really hard then for them to recover and go left into sight, so they probably won't do this pathing unless they know for sure you're using this trip, because it's a harder path to do into sight. So this trip is really strong if you're against raise. If you're not against a raise, I wouldn't do it. If you want to play, if you're doing it against like a jet, if you want to like trip against a jet, you can do ones like this. If you're really concerned about the jet, like either side is fine. Oh my god, either side is fine. You can also do, if you want to play against, why can't I pick it up? If you want to also do one against jet, there's also ones you can do like this with different sights. They're likely to get her when she dashes out into a smoke from hookah. So that's like how I like counter those. If I want to play pretty defensively on site, if I'm playing like alone, not really alone even, but if I'm playing, actually it's probably if I'm playing with someone, but we need to keep B at all costs sort of deal, like I have an op on A or something, then I probably will doing these sort of trips and playing fairly defensively with the cages. So when they try and push me, I can put up the cages and use my trips to try and get kills, like to my advantage. Otherwise, that's like kind of it for trips. And I'll also talk a tiny bit about cages. Is that I don't usually use cages that are in the choke points. Sometimes I will, depends on like who my smoking agent is. On along, it definitely has more of an argument because brims will struggle to smoke this, so it can give them time to get in range to smoke this. So I would like maybe put a cage there if you think that you really need smokes on long 100% of the time. Usually what I do is I usually have this trip up, so I don't usually need one there because I'll have one here, and when this trip goes off, then I'll put my smoke and either spam through the wall here, or I'll come out the smoke and get the kill on the person that's my trip. Next we'll talk about cams. There's a couple of cams I use. The first cam is a very popular cam. You can either put it on the top of this or you can put it on the bottom of this. Doesn't really matter, as long as it can see everything. I usually put it on this side because if people decide to check this lazily, which happens a lot in ranked, then they won't see the cam and then they'll wide swing and then they'll realize they've made a mistake in swinging back into the cam, giving info instead of killing it the first time. The other cam you'll see sometimes is this one, and what this does is it just simply means that you can have it open and they won't see it until like really far deep into hookah, kind of similar to how the function of this trip, where they'll see this trip then shoot it and you'll know the front hookah. This cam is kind of the same thing. You can also do cams like around this corner, actually not that shallow, sorry, like more deep than that. And what will happen is you can see them when they come out, and they have to be dropped out or like pushed out of long for you to actually see them. So it's pretty strong if you want to play a more defensive setup. Like by defensive I mean like sitting in CT or maybe even this area ready to spam through the box with like a trip on site, something like this. But you know, it's not really the strongest of trips, but you can do it with the trap play here if you want to. Next we'll go on to A. Because I don't really play A a huge amount, so I don't really have like a mass amount of things today. If I'm playing A, I'll just do a simple trip on shower sometimes. I'll also do there's also a couple of trips you can do here off these like little like hinges for the door. There's also ones like deeper than that as well. What did it? Well, anyway. So those two off the door. And there's also floor ones you can do here, but bear in mind these usually get jumped over. People usually path it like this. Which can mean like you might be able to get like the second kill or third kill out. So these people will jump out. They might not even see this, and then the second person or third person might come out and get tagged by it, and you can spam them from like there, or maybe through the box. There's usually a lot of smokes up around here as well. If you think that the enemy team is going to play like super aggressive, then you can do like really defensive trips that defend your backside space, so then you can retake nicely. That is possible as well. I don't usually do it on ranked. I think it's more of a thing that you have to coordinate with your team. You can do trips like this as well. A lot of jets will dash into this corner, and so you can tag them, and you can actually spray this with an Odin. So if you want to play like that kind of like rat sort of stuff, then you can do that. That is a very good possibility. You can also do it with the cam as well early on. Like actually, sorry. So you can like tag someone taking this. And then when they like remove it, you can like wait like 5 seconds and start spamming them, and there's a chance like they might just like try to run out or run back, and they might get caught in the Odin spray. It's also not a bad cam just for like controlling short and getting info. It is very breakable cam though, in a place where you can't punish them, so not the greatest. If I remember correctly as well, there is also a one-way like from this, right? But I don't remember how to line it up, so you have to forgive me. Yeah, it is a one-way, but I forgot how to line it up, so you have to forgive me about that. I don't remember at all, but I know there's a one-way there that exists. So you may just have to go hunting ground and find it. I don't quite remember. It's been a while. I've played Cypher recently, but I don't play A very much, so you'll have to forgive that one. Say that multiple times, apparently. When I play showers, if I ever do play showers, usually it's for like info. So I might decide to do a deep cam from playing A sometimes, and just leave it here. So when they actually try and execute A, I can use this to find if there's someone close to me, or like close to taking showers, like coming out of showers. If I'm actually playing A for like for info, and I want to try and get like an orb and like push around, try and flank, because that's a very common thing I'll do, is that if the enemy team is going to the other site, I'll check if anyone's like lurking near me with like the cam. And if it gets shot, then there's someone lurking near me, or like maybe they're just like faking or something. If there's not anyone near me and they don't shoot the cam, I'm going to take the orb, or maybe I won't take the orb and I'll just go for a flank. Bear in mind that you are really strong versus a chamber. If a chamber and deadlock, if they are the only sentinels on the enemy team, because you can cage off the chamber's util, and obviously you can have the presence of mind to walk in certain places versus deadlock. But with Killjoy it gets a lot harder, and you don't have any way to bypass any Cypher trips, so you don't really have that many options when it comes to flanking. Obviously I won't talk about the ult that much, because the ult is not really map bound. It's more about situation. If you want to go for picks anywhere though, it probably is better to go for them in bath or showers, because you can ult very easily from here if you go like close, and you can ask teammate to play these sort of angles with you if you want to. Long is a bit harder to do that with, and I wouldn't even try with like some other of the angles. Maybe short. A short is doable. I think A in general is a lot friendlier to your ult. If you want to do it early in the round. Generally you probably end up doing it retake. Though if you're going to play B. So yeah, that's it for defense. I'll move on to attack. Okay, so on attack, I'm actually going to start off with the normal trips. So there's 2 sets you can do. There's one set which is this. You do a trip like that, and you do a trip on the top of these stairs. And it's important that the set of trips are on the same side of these stairs. Because if they're not on the same side of these stairs, actually I've kind of took away the worst one to show the example with, but if they're not on the same stairs, then you can see like what can happen, right? B flankers can go through here and not run into a trip. A flankers can do the opposite, right? They can go through sand or CT or sorry, T spawn into market into flank. So yeah, so it's important you get these 2 trips. You don't want to do it on the bottom of the stairs because it's jumpable. And then the other trip you can do is this one. This one's a bit more inaccurate, but if you really need to like mix up these trips for whatever reason, then this is like potentially the ones you want to do. So you want to do it kind of level with this on that corner, level with this sort of like mark. Because that is, I think, as far as I know, there's not a good way. There's no way to crouch this. But there might, like looking at it, there might be a pixel somewhere around here that you can get through. But you have to be very precise, and I don't think people are going to be this precise walking through here. So maybe not, maybe. I don't 100% know. I'll have to like properly test it, which I haven't. And then there's just this strip with it as well. Only really jets can. Actually, I'm not sure if jets can't even updraft this. I don't think. Or sorry, glide over this. I don't think. They might be able to glide over that, over it with this box from A, but I don't 100%. Okay, so other attacking trips we can do. Sometimes I'll do ones like this, but I'll do them like mirrored on the map as well. So might do one here, and I'll do one over here. And the reason why I would do them like that is because I'm gonna play here, and my teammates are gonna go like a 2-2, and I'm gonna play in mid, and then they can't sneak up on me or my team going through this, and they can't go this way to do that. They can't go short and then here, right? To do the same thing they would have done from this lurk. So I have like a lot of A control just from holding this angle, which is really strong. And you can kind of do the same thing as well. What you can do is you can move this trip, and you can put it here, around here somewhere. And you can kind of do the same thing where if your teammates go B, you can kind of play shows if you want. And this is probably a bit stronger. The reason why this is a bit stronger is because this TP exists. So if you take Bath, then your teammates may be able to have a safer TP if you decide to rotate. Which Bind is very much a map where rotation is important to this map. So if you are able to take good space in the same path as the teleporter, then it's going to be pretty strong. So you can do stuff like that, which is pretty good. Obviously, you can technically get the same value with this trip, but obviously it's going to be a lot harder to get this trip. Because people are going to peek this a lot. To be fair, if the enemy team insta-smoke this, you might be able to get this trip without this player noticing it, or like seeing it instantly, which means that we might actually get the value you want. I don't actually quite know the height though. I have to mess around with it. So yeah, so it's on this picture. This is the height here. So you want to just like centered on this picture, and that won't be jumpable or crouchable. Actually, maybe it's quite just a bit crouchable. Look, crouchable. This is actually no. There you go. It is like on the it's like a tiny bit below the center of that picture, and this is not crouchable or jumpable. Jets will definitely be able to glide over this. There is that, but overall, like they won't be able to get through. That's a good trip if you want to lurk, because these trips technically, even though they are good still when lurking, right, they'll still defend your team. You know, if you can like, if you don't need to like trip your own place usually, and usually want like you're actually defending yourself with this trip too if you're lobby, because then they can't push this way and shoot in the back, and you're still defending your teammates, right, because they can't go this way and shoot them in the back. So yeah, there's that. Some cams I usually do on attack early on, ones like this, to check if they have an op and stuff like that. You usually get shot very early in the round, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about that too much on Cypher, because his cam is there for information, and you'll get information if it gets shot. I'll also do cams like this if we're going out, which we'll see a lot. And then from hookah, I can also do ones along this wall. You can also do one like this, which sees a lot of like mid-sight. Obviously, it's quite risky to be up this close, but usually this will also be smoked. So as long as you like use a ping 22 meters away, right? Here. Then you'll know where to put it. Use pings to like get accurate cam spots is always good. When it comes to like cages, I don't really have that many. I don't really have any cages that I use. Like I'll just free throw them to try and get sight lines blocked. I don't really have like any proper lineups or anything for them. There probably are tons of lineups you can find on the internet though. So if you are wanting to get some lineups for Cypher cages and attack, them. I don't personally need them. I feel like I mean I probably do need them actually, but you know, maybe it's just because I don't play him as that frequently on this map. I don't feel the need yet. When it comes to attacking A, I also will do some cams. The main cam I usually do is actually this one. It sees obviously a lot, and it's quite high, so I can see people like behind triple towards like the back side. It will get shot very easily though. You can also do ones like this, like on top of this. You can see this corner. You can see people like pushing out showers if they're holding like an off angle like this, which is also very common to do. Actually, I can't quite see them. So I guess if they're crouched in the corner, you can't. I think. Okay, I guess the person that I remember is actually just off angling the corner stuff. I mean, so it is possible. I mean, I guess maybe I place it more to the right. So possible too. So we can already see behind that. So yeah, this makes more sense actually. Have it more to the right on this wall. You get to see more. Although you don't want it too far right because you don't want people around here to be able to shoot. You don't want people to be able to shoot it from this sort of angle, which they can in this one. So, so not ideal, but oh well. Is you still have trips for post plants to say if you're ecoing and you don't feel like they're going to push behind you. This is going to happen to me a lot where I'll save trips on attack if the enemy team is, also if the enemy team is bought and we eco, then I probably won't trip behind that much because it's just simply a waste of money. And if we start to win the round and we get like a plan to maybe a man advantage or we call or something, then I'll start to use my util to kind of try and secure the round. So maybe I'll place a trip on the bomb. You can do ones on these stairs as well, across with this box. Find it. Yeah, so if I just place this way, you do that as well, so it stops players from like pushing this line against you. If you're on short, they have to push all the way up here like this. Yeah, that's basically it for Cypher on attack. There's not really a huge amount, honestly, for him for me. I usually just do very standard things that I do on every map. There's nothing like in particularly unique about him on Bind, aside from he is a duelist. He's a sentinel, so he can take space and by himself in like lurks and things. And you want to use that when you have the opportunity to TP. You take them if he's like taking Bath or if he's taking like hookah or something, taking B, and then you want to like use that advantage that you have to take space for your team. Use the cam to get info early. Don't worry if it dies too much, especially because it has a cooldown as well. Chamber was like crying because he doesn't get his thing back, but Cypher does, and it makes it a really good tool to just get information instantly in a round. So yeah, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one.